Let's go racing. I got to tell you, every once in a while, I get a treat, and this is a real treat. The legend, Tim Cassidy. Hey, if it needs to get built, if it needs to get fixed, if it needs a new face, that home improvement project, this is what he does, and he's got an impeccable reputation. But he loves this community of Ambridge. He graduated from here, and I love Ambridge. The big bicentennial coming up in June. We're going to be telling you all about that in the weeks to come. Mario Leone, the borough manager, the police department, all of the great things are up and down Merchant Street. I'm all in. But this is one of my favorite events of the year. But we need your help, and he's going to tell you all about it. This is something near and dear to me, and I'm going to tell you some stories going back in the day and how I fell in love with this type of racing. Tim, tell everybody why we're here.
We're here for the Soapbox Derby, to promote the Soapbox Derby, get more youth involved, try and get some adults involved. And basically, we need help, we need kids. We need to keep this tradition alive. It's something I did in 1972, and I'd like to keep it going.
All right, so let me go back. And this guy's been to the Mecca. When I grew up, we didn't have 24-hour cable sports channels. We had our Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, we had KDK Radio, KDK Television, and we had ABC's Wide World of Sports. And as a kid, summertime, I would be listening and waiting for anything that told me that they were about ready to go racing in Akron, Ohio. And whatever that day was, it was live, it was on ABC's Wide World of Sports, and it was Soapbox Derby Day. As big as the Kentucky Derby or any race, the Indianapolis 500, I absolutely loved it. And this is really where it began for you too. This is still a big deal, and those who participate here and win here have an opportunity to go to the big day in Akron. But that's where you and I, a couple of baby boomers, fell in love with Soapbox Derby time.
Right. I mean, I raced. My sister raced. You know, we built our own cars, and that was the thing, you know. It was big in Ambridge. It was on the 4th of July. Everybody'd have a big parade and go watch the race.
Well, 14th Street is where they'll be rolling, and we're going to tell you more about that June 1st coming up. And you can link into their Facebook page for everything that you need to know. But I want to just talk about then as opposed to now. And I told you, I can't remember who, but there was someone in my neighborhood that had that car up on some lumber and horses, just like this, the sawdust being kicked up, the spinning of the wheels, and me just standing there as a kid thinking, boy, I'd like to put that helmet on and lean into it and go racing. But when you and I were young, what was it? Like $40 you couldn't spend any more than $40?
You couldn't spend no more than $40. They gave you the axles, the wheels, and the steering wheel, and the rest was on you.
Now, could your dad or significant adult in your life build it, or did you have to build it?
They were supposed to oversee your project. You were supposed to build it. I can show you some cars that were built by kids, and I can show you some cars that were built by adults back then. You know.
Do you think this is kind of where your love affair with lumbers and pounding nails into lumber and painting and building, did it kind of begin there, you think?
It might be.
I mean, you're a legend in this business. I mean, you've been doing it for a very long time. And you and I are both in our 60s now, and things aren't as easy as they once were. But this is just a passion for you. And it's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, because Tim said, look, Rob, I need people to get involved. So how do they get involved?
It's easy. I mean, we have so many cars, the club ourselves have so many cars that if a kid wants to do it, all they have to do is get in touch with me, either through the Facebook page or my Facebook page, or look me up and call me. It's not hard. And, you know, we can go from there. I can get you registered. We're going to have registration on March 18th. And at that point, you know, we'd put you in a car, weigh you, get everybody set, and then we impound the cars.
You impound the cars.
The cars will all be locked down in this basement. Nobody will be able to get to them to do anything.
See, he said no, but I think if you're into collecting, and I've gone through a few stages in my life, I think it would be cool to have a couple of these cars in your house. I mean, they really do. It's the purest of sports. It gives people a chance, young people, to work with significant adults in their life, mentors, parents, and they get a chance to see it come to life in front of their very eyes. And let's face it, when you're a kid, one of the things you like to do is go fast.
Yeah. Well, today, you buy a kit, and you actually build a kit. So, you know, a kid can actually build their own car today. It's that simple. It's just a matter of putting bolts in, tightening nuts. It's really simple.
All right, sponsorships. I was telling him earlier, who's the person filming the video?
Renee, my daughter.
All right, Renee, follow me a little bit over here. You stay here, Timmy. But this is what I love. Take a look at some of these cars. Tim, come on over here. I love the sponsorships. Listen, that's why I love the Indianapolis 500 so much, and F1 racing and NASCAR. I love the sponsorships. Do me a favor, just kind of stand over there, Timmy, and tell everybody about the shell, about the wheels, the axles, and what we're looking at here.
This is the most complicated car. This is a fiberglass kit, and you actually, there's a seam in here where you put two pieces together. This piece comes separate, this piece comes separate. So this car here takes a little more skill to build.
Yeah, man.
You know, this is considered a master's car where the kid gets in there.
He's right in that cockpit,
He's
ready to
in
go.
there. And then
That's awesome.
we put this down over, slide his head in there, and that's about how they go down the track.
Oh, come on now.
That's it.
What kind of speed are we looking at?
This car here probably about 25, 27 on our track.
So it's still 14th Street.
Still 14th Street, but we also use ramps that are about 4 foot high to get them a little more speed.
All right, we got to take care of the hometown team. Come on over here, Renee. Tim Cassidy Construction. I love it, man. Now, this is a little bit different. This is kind of like an open cockpit in a way.
That is medium car. That's for, say, a kid 10 to 17 years old. That's a real simple car to build.
Why do you love this so much? I mean, I know why I love it. I mean, I'm giddy just being here, but why do you love this so much?
Because if I don't do it, who is?
Yeah, but see, that's why we need young
You know.
people to step up.
Right.
Now, how old? Let's talk about the ages. Come on, guys, let's
Ages
sit
are
down.
from 7 to 17 years old, or 21 now with this car.
7 to 21.
Yes, you can be up to 21 with this car here.
By the way, I think the lights just went out. Can we turn those
Yeah.
lights back on?
Let me see.
You come on over here, Renee. We'll wait till like I'll show you a few other things. Let's take a look at some of this other stuff. This is, by the way, where he does all of his magic for his business. But look at some of these cars. Absolutely love it. And I mean, your creativity is what it's all about. I mean, you can basically, whatever you dream it, you can plan it, you can get it done, and you can represent on that particular day. Okay, we got the lights back on.
Yeah, it might flow again.
That's okay. If it does,
That's breakers.
we'll figure it out. Come on back. All right. You got to tell everybody about where we're at, too. You and I have such a love of history. This is one of your many buildings that you work out of, but this is a landmark. This was the home of who at one
Paul's
time?
Bakery.
It's a big building, solid building.
They had multiple bakeries in town, and I think this one here is where they did their main baking.
Your business, I want to talk about your business a little bit. You do so many different jobs, and it really is like you and 3 other people. And you own some property in this town as well. You just love doing what you're doing and have been doing. So how long have you been doing this?
It'll be 49 years in June since I started my business. I started 2 weeks out of high school.
So we're like 76, you're graduating,
Right.
and 2 weeks later,
2 weeks later, I put an ad in the newspaper. And I'm here.
you've been doing it. You mean what? I mean, what,
I've never worked for anybody else. I've never had a W-2, a 1099, or anything.
Were you fearful a little bit in the beginning as a kid?
Nah,
You just-
you have no fear at 17 years old.
so you had a tool belt, a truck.
That's
Did you have a
it.
truck?
Yep.
Did your dad kind of help you, or say, "Come on, let's go," or who helped
I
you?
would take my dad when I went to bid on jobs because people would say I was too young. So I would take my dad with me a lot.
See, these are the stories that I love. This is why I love people like Tim and who they are, and I love to support whatever they're supporting. And we're going to finish on the whole soapbox thing, but let me get up on my soapbox and talk about your business. You remember the first paying job you had? You probably
It
don't.
was probably a roof.
It was kind of like the actor who's never ridden a horse, and he wants to part in this Western, and they say, "Have you able to ride a horse?" Oh, yeah, I can ride a horse. So you're taking on these jobs that you probably thought, how in the world am I going to do this? But you never told anybody no.
Everything came with instructions. Yeah, that was my attitude back then. Everything you bought came with instructions. Read the instructions and do it.
What do you love about Beaver County as much as I know I love about Beaver County? It's the people, right, man?
Without a doubt. You know, Beaver County, we got a lot of great people around here. People are friendly around here. Everybody says hi. You know, you don't get that everywhere.
Mm-mm. And this is really a big day when you guys do this on June 1st, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, because our winners go to Akron. You know,
Yeah,
so it gets really exciting. It's a double elimination race. We swap wheels, so if anybody has doctored their wheels, it's not going to help them because they're going to go on the other car. You know, I mean, we're very strict.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's the whole idea. There's a lot riding on this.
Right.
What's it like in Akron on that day? And you've been there.
It is big. There'll be over 400 kids race from around the world. That's not just the United States. They get them from Canada. They get them from Japan, New Zealand, Germany.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it is a big deal.
Just trophies, scholarships? What do they get?
Just trophies and scholarships. I guess it's a scholarship. They do get some kind of payoff.
Do you know how this whole thing started? What's the history of all this?
Actually, it started 85 years ago. This was the first All-American race. So I'm not sure about all of that. But if a car wins, they keep the car.
No.
Yeah, it goes into their Hall of Fame. And
They have like a museum.
Yes, they do. They have buildings with every car in there.
Over the last 85 years.
Yep, there's a lot of cars there.
Has anybody ever won from here?
We had a kid from Newcastle win. It was before I was involved. That was the middle 2000s.
Now that would be a story to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're competing from all over the globe.
Yes, they are.
Now, okay, race day. Take us through that. When's it start? Some of the things that take place June 1st. Just a few.
Our
months away.
race, the kids will probably show up about 6:30 in the morning, and they'll have on their race shirts, which we give them. And then all the cars will go from here to 14th Street. And once we have everything set up, any new kid we let go down the hill first so that they have some experience. And then after that, they just start racing. Usually about 8:30, 9 o'clock is when it'll actually start.
So here's the question. And I've never asked this before to anyone. And you guys have been with me on the radio before, and I've talked to others. Is there a steering wheel, or is it basically like a sled?
No, there's a steering wheel.
Okay.
There's a steering wheel and a brake pedal. But the steering wheel moves so little. I mean, it's limited on what you're allowed to turn.
It's like before power steering.
Yeah. They're pretty easy to steer. And then most of the cars have brake pedals. These cars here, the fiberglass cars, we have them all set up that when you get to the end, you actually just pull the steering wheel back because the brake pedal's built into it. Because there's not a lot of room in there.
Now, you would think 20 miles an hour, okay, the cars are all alike, but can you really become competitive, these races?
Yeah, every car's weighed the same with the driver in it. You know, if it's a class that says it's 200-pound class, we will have every car within a pound of each other in that class.
And they all get weighed.
They all get weighed. And they bring them in, we weigh them. As we bolt the weights in, the kid has to stay here. They're not allowed to leave until all the weights are bolted in case there's a problem and we have to switch a weight.
Now, these sponsorships, how do people, can they do that?
You can buy cars.
Now, how's that happen?
Actually, you can call me and I can hook you up with some used cars, or I can get you a new car.
So this is kind of like the garage for the soapbox. They're all, they end up here in one form or another.
Yes, every one of them will be here.
All right, before we say goodbye, coming up June 1st, it's happening on 14th Street in Ambridge. I've been talking about it for years. It's a great spectacle. Come on out and cheer these racers on. But explain why we are here tonight. It's really about the next generation.
Yeah, we need the next generation to step up here as board members. We need them to come in and learn how this stuff's done. You know, our youngest guy is over 60 years old, and, you know, we can use some younger help.
So come on and step up and help out, and we'll see you on race day. It's your Pratte Pack with Tim Cassidy. Remember, you need it fixed, built, he can do it. And you want to go racing, he can give you all the information as well. It's your Pratte Pack. Have a great rest of your night from that great community of Ambridge. Don't forget, big bicentennial coming up in the first part of June. We'll be telling you more about that in the days and weeks to come. Have a great night, everybody.